Hey everyone, what's going on? Greg here again from Team Blast. I want to talk about Apple Maps SEO. Better rankings equals more leads. The keyword here is Locksmith. So again, I'm tracking Apple Maps for my client. They've improved by 31% in share of local voice. So that is their current heat map view. And what I want to just stress is that with local Falcon, when you do Apple Map scans, it is using DuckDuckGo for the share of local voice. But what I've been seeing with my clients is that the better rankings on DuckDuckGo does translate to more category searches that trigger your account on traditional Apple Map search. So this is a good directional that if you're getting better rankings on Apple Maps via DuckDuckGo, it should translate then to more searches showing your profile on Apple Maps. So now we got that out of the way. Share of local voice growth. So my client is the blue line. So you can see back. So I did a few scans for them back in May, and I kind of took some time off with Apple Maps to kind of reconfigure my strategy. Now I'm having a lot more success with a lot of my local SEO clients. I've been really pushing Apple Maps of late. And here is basically where they're at. They are the blue line, and now they've overtaken the top competitors in their area for share of local voice. Again, 11 by 11 grid, 6 mile radius. And here's the map change from it before and after. So again, back in May, this is pretty much how their map looked. So when you look at this initially, you're going to say, Greg, we went from a lot of yellows to dark reds in the further quadrants of this 11 by 11 grid. But in reality, what only matters is that we went from we improved by 31% for the dots now that are dark green. Those dark green dots again represent page one via a DuckDuckGo search. Again, the way that I'm interpreting this is that when you're using your phone and you search for a locksmith in this area and you open up your Apple app on your phone, the top listens so above the fold before you scroll. Now my client is being seen. So as long as we can get more dots green, that's going to give them the best chance to get somebody to click on their profile, to either visit their website or schedule a booking or to call, and they can get, they can potentially get that lead now because they're further up within the search results. That's how I'm actually looking at the map. I don't care about losing some ranks. I care about just gaining the majority that I can, which is what we're doing. And this is just further proof. So I can see that we've actually taken share away from the top. So we are the top listing. We are number one. There's so many different Apple Map providers or Apple Map listings that Apple Maps displays for the term locksmith. We are the top, and we're taking share away from the top number two and number three listings. That's actually how we're growing. So I can see that we are definitely making some good progress when it comes to these rankings. So ranking factors that I've observed. Now, this is pretty universal because I've been doing this now for all my local SEO clients. So a lot of this now is just based off what I've observed. But really, here's my thought process. The name of the business is a major ranking factor. So I use local Falcon and I'm able to see all the competitors that are listed. Interestingly enough, I think Apple does a better job with spam than Google. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of times if you try to keyword stuff a name, Apple can usually flag that and not allow it to go through. However, though, I have seen competitors have keywords of their names. They'll add things like, for example, let's just pretend this is a Chicago locksmith. They'll say things like Chicago locksmith, and then they do like hyphen, then they'll be like commercial locksmith hyphen, residential locksmith hyphen, 24/7 locksmith. Sometimes I can actually get through on Google, but on Apple, I've noticed they've really cracked down on that. However, though, if Apple did not catch that keyword stuff, you can report that. So again, if a competitor is taking share away from you or your client, you do want to report that. Next, showcases and updates are important and freshness signals. We talk about this all the time. Apple does not have an update section, so you got to have updates within photos and things that are new around your business. So if you're a locksmith, you might say something like, that we recently did a commercial locksmith security project, or we're offering for first time users 10% off for the first locksmith service with us, anything like that as a showcase. Next, reviews do matter. So I talk about this. Google reviews do not translate into Apple. So if you're looking at your numbers and you're saying, how do I increase my rankings, my traffic, and my leads from Apple? You should get on Yelp, you should get on TripAdvisor, you should get reviews. So encourage your audience and your customers to leave reviews on Yelp and TripAdvisor. It's just a way to kind of diversify away from only getting Google reviews. Next, action buttons do increase clicks. So hypothetically, if you are, let's say, a dentist or a nail salon or anything else that has a booking option, like a restaurant, include that directly. You have to manually add that into Apple Maps, but then they give a bookings button that people can then directly interact with your business. Next, category search is key. So Apple does not provide the searches that trigger your account. You have to look at the category. So the category here could be emergency locksmith, or it could be nail salon, or it could be nail technician, or it could be HVAC contractor, whatever it is. That's the category search. You want to run local Falcon scans for that, see if you can increase the share of local voice. Finally, good to know features. This is something that's almost always overlooked. Every client that I onboard, I always ask the same question: do you guys take Apple Pay? And they say, yeah, sure, why not? And if you do, then we want to check that off. That is a filter people do use on Apple. It's an Apple specific search within the map app. You want to make sure you check that off. So if you do accept Apple Pay, include that, because if you don't, you won't be seen when people do that filter. Believe it or not, there are people who do use Apple Maps who then filter by that because they don't want to necessarily have a locksmith come over to fix, to get into their car if they don't have, let's say, like their wallet with them or whatever it is. They can then use their phone to show their Apple Pay and to pay right then and there. So, basically in summary, I'll go back really to this. I think this is the main view I really want to stress is that winning more dots 1, 2, and 3 that are green leads to more impressions, lead to more website clicks, phone calls, bookings, and potential leads for my clients. I'm always, constantly stressing in 2025, but really, especially now in September, diversifying away a little bit from Google and focusing on Apple is such a great avenue to get more leads for your business. So I'm really trying to push this and say, okay, let's get a baseline. Let's work on ways that we can improve our ranks. Let's get more leads for our business. And if we can go from, let's say, 5% of our leads every month come from Apple to 10%, and it doesn't take away from Google rankings, that's a net win for your business. Anyway, thanks for watching this video and stay tuned for the next one.